What is up? Welcome into the Early Edge powered by SportsLine. I am your host, Alan Bell, and we are going to get you ready for Sunday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Ravens. We are awaiting our man, the coach, live from Caesars Sportsbook in Hammond, Indiana, to join us, but we didn't want to waste any more time and get right into the plays for tonight, as well as everything that we have going on across the league today. So let's waste no time with this. Let's get our guys in here. Fellas, good to see you. Prop stars. Alex, what's good, man?
What's good, AB? I'm stoked. It's been a wild week, too. I'm ready to see this game. I'm super excited for Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And I'm telling you, I think I've slept about 3 hours this entire weekend and just made the trek back to Nashville. Got home about 20 minutes ago, so we're just going straight live right to here. Mike M Squared, our man, was good, buddy.
Not a lot currently. I'm getting my butt kicked so far today. Wild swings happening, as we talked about off air. But so I'm just kind of watching, see if I'm going to lose a little money, a lot of money, a used car. I don't know yet. We're about to see what happens. But things are getting sweaty over here. How you doing?
You know what? We need to have like a used car graphic that pops up like every time it's the witching hour. And we're going to decide, well, it's going to decide whether Mike wins that or not. Our man, Zach, it's good to see you again, buddy. Let's go with you, man.
I'm doing much better than yesterday. College football has been kicking my butt. I've got to really refocus on college football. NFL going okay. Really need Seattle here to have a positive day, but doing well in the NFL so far.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. It's been a crazy start to the season, all around. I think we've had 19 ranked college football teams that have already lost. 19. That's insane. The amount. And then you look at the NFL, obviously we saw in week 1 the amount of, underdogs. And then we saw Thursday night, the Giants continued that. It's been a little bit more even today. But what we want to do, let's go through some of these games. And really, it's just kind of a round table discussion of what you've seen, bets you've hit, bets you've missed. And we'll just take a look. I'm interested in
Hey, AB, I think your mic is broken here, man. I think the sound is off on the mic for sure.
Yeah, I've lost you, AB. I can't hear you.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Where's Coach? He would bench AB right now, says the chat.
I know he would. Can you guys hear me now?
There it is. A little bit better right there.
You got me? All right. Yeah, I think it's when we're trying to add him in from the casino. I think it's throwing that off. So all right, I want to start. Sorry. Apologies to everybody. We got all kinds of things going on here. All right, so this Texans and Browns game. All right, the Browns ended up winning, 31-21. But the Texans have looked better than we thought kind of coming into the season. So we see them win week 1 against the Jaguars. They hang tight. Obviously, the Browns win by double digits. They don't cover the large spread. But the Texans look better. What are you guys' thoughts on this team? What are your thoughts from a prop perspective? What are your thoughts on them moving forward? They're just a little bit better of a team than we all thought. And anybody, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, the Browns look the Texans look pretty game. They're playing with nothing to lose. We'll see how long Tyrod's out. I was surprised. They played well. Again, it's 2 weeks in a row that they surprised me. I think, it hurt the Browns a little bit, losing Jarvis Landry early on, not having Odell Beckham out there, I think kind of affected their game plan, but they leaned heavily on Kareem Hunt, obviously, and Nick Chubb. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the Texans. I think they're obviously a lot better than people think, and I think they're going to continue to be competitive throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So you basically took the words out of my mouth there. Took it over with them in week 1, and they continue to put points on the board again in week 2.
Zach, any thoughts?
Yeah, just it was a big number to take them today. Obviously, the Texans held through 3 pretty good quarters from them, but fourth quarter, Cleveland just took over. We saw Nick Chubb with that pull-away touchdown, and the defense stood up when they needed to.
Yeah. So, all right, jumping over to the Rams Colts. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, also from a prop perspective, I found it interesting that Kareem Hunt out-touched Nick Chubb today. He had 2 more carries. He's obviously more involved in the passing game. That was a surprise to me, considering the Browns were at least tied or winning most of the game to see Kareem Hunt get more work. So that'll be something I keep a close eye on going forward from a prop standpoint, is the back's involvement. Seems like it might be a 50-50 split for the rest of the season.
All right. I like that. Now, everybody, thank you so much. We've had some technical issues. I think it sounds better. I think we're good to go now. So, yeah, apologies. Scream at me on Twitter, please. Include Coach on that, and he'll hammer me down on that one, too. All right. Let's move over here to the Rams-Colts game real quick, all right? We got the Rams on the road. They win 27-24. I think the spread closed, 4, I think, for the Rams. So the Colts cover that. What do we take away from the Colts? I think they're exactly the team that we think that they are. They're slow. They're methodical on offense. They're going to put up some points. They generally don't beat themselves. Carson Wentz, I know that he had at least one key turnover. What do we make out of the Colts, and what do we make out of the Rams now? We've seen 2 games. They played at home, obviously, in primetime against the Bears, get the win there. Didn't look necessarily great all around. Stafford obviously showed his thing, with those 2 50-yard-plus TD passes. But they go on the road, get a win. All right, Zach, I'm going to start with you, man. What are your thoughts here on both teams? And just from a betting perspective, like moving forward, how much confidence do you have in either?
Well, with the Colts, I'm going to hold my thoughts as far as ATS, just because they face 2 very tough matchups to begin the year against the Rams and Seahawks, who we know they're probably going to both be in the playoffs and go a far distance in the playoffs. So the Colts are working in Carson Wentz. They're working in their young team. And I think it's going to take a little bit, but we know they're going to get some easy matchups being in the division that they're in. So they're going to have a chance to right the ship there. And then as far as the Rams, the number caught up to them this week, 3.5 road favorites, but they're winning games. So everyone that had that season win total, I gave it out maybe a month ago. We're looking good on that win total.
Alex, your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I agree with what Zach said. Do we have a report on the severity of Wentz's injury?
I have not seen him. No.
Okay, yeah. So I guess, I'll be really curious to see if he's going to miss time. Obviously, he's had a lot of trouble staying on the field. As far as the Rams are concerned, it's nice to see them have competent QB play. The offense looks a lot more opened up. I think that's going to continue. I think Stafford's on pace for a huge year. He's going to continue having a big year. I think all the ancillary and primary weapons on the Rams are going to continue being super productive. Cooper Kupp had a monster game. I'm expecting that to continue. That connection looks like it's for real. I'd say the same with Robert Woods, who's had somewhat of a slow start. So, yeah, I expect the Rams to continue being really productive offensively. However, on the other side of the ball, defensively, I don't think they're anywhere close to the team they were last year. They lost a lot of key defenders in free agency. John Johnson, the safety, I think he was graded as PFF's #1 safety last year, went to the Browns. And, yeah, their defense looks a lot thinner and they look a lot more vulnerable. So I think they're going to be in a lot of high-scoring shootouts going forward.
In square. Now, before we jump into that game, I think that we just had 2 finals come. I think the Cardinals ended up winning and Dallas as well. All right, so the used car. Are we feeling good? How are we feeling?
Well, we're not going to lose the used car thanks to the sports betting side. The DFS side it's kind of in flux there. I need to look at the apps, but it was close to being bad. I was going to be close to a 5-figure loss or not returning, but ended up coming out my way. I had the Cowboys money line +140, Cowboys +3. That came in. And then the biggest shocker of them all, Arizona was supposed to lose that game there. I had Arizona on the money line with the football team, got those 2 wins, +131 there. And that was damage control times 10. Ended up profitable, even though I dropped the Amari and Dak the Amari and Dak props. I ended up losing both of those today. All I can say on that is I guess I underestimated how bad the Chargers are defensively in terms of the run defense. There's just way too much running. Clock got moving too much, and just didn't get there on the Dak or the Amari numbers. But overall, very happy. Cowboys won. Cowboys covered. 2 big wins.
There we go. Hey, as long as we're, winning more than we don't, we're all set there. Now, look, everybody's dealt with these issues that we've had on the show in terms of technical difficulties. So what I want to do is this. I'm going to give away 2 free year-long subscriptions to SportsLine because I feel bad that you guys all had to deal with it, and we have a standard here. So all you have to do is just put your Twitter handle in the chat. You're not even going to have to do anything else. You're not going to have to make any picks quite yet. We're going to do that too. But just drop your Twitter handle in the chat, and we're going to go through, pick 2 winners, and I've got you covered. Now, so I want to take a look at another game here. Well, actually, I want to take a look at a stat that every single week I feel like in my head, I try to subconsciously, I try to find a reason not to play it. And it's Teddy Bridgewater, his against the spread record on the road in his career, right? He's had 2 games on the road so far this season. All right. We talk about it literally 5 times a week. And he does it again, goes to Jacksonville, gets the dub, right? I think they win 23-13. And he's now 23-3 against the spread in his career. All right, so Zach, I'm going to start with you, man. Any thoughts on Teddy? Any thoughts on the Broncos? Because these are 2 nice wins. I know that the Giants, the win over the Giants in week 1 looked close, but it wasn't necessarily that close. It just looks, on the scoreboard. So, yeah, Zach, your thoughts on the Broncos, your thoughts on Teddy?
Yeah, I think it's just twofold. It's the proper scenario for Teddy Bridgewater because, as we know, the Denver Broncos, they love that safe approach with Vic Fangio and that nice defense that they have. And going on the road, it wasn't like it was a give me. We had to work for that against the Giants. They had some drives in the first half where they looked a little rusty, but pulled away in the second half. And then in this one as well, it took them a little bit to get going. But that's all you really need. Have them game manage, get you a couple touchdowns, and that defense is holding forth right now.
Alex, your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I mean, you can only beat the opponents they put in front of you. They're 2-0. They might not have been the best opposition, but they won. Teddy Bridgewater is Mr. Consistency. The guy comes out there, you kind of know what you're going to get from him, and he continues to deliver. He's productive. He's a winner. He's proven. So, yeah, I think the Broncos are a good team. Do I think that they're a viable Super Bowl contender? No, but I think that they are a 500 maybe or a game or 2 above 500 ceiling that can be competitive every week. And yeah, I think they're solid and they have a lot of to look forward to in the future.
It was quiet.
Oh yeah, I think Alex said it best. You can only beat the teams they put in front of you, but they did put 2 teams in front of them on the road. Pretty good start the season with 2 road wins, right? Which they need it, frankly. They're in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. So it's a really good start for them, and they're winning the games that they're supposed to win. We'll see, in the next few weeks as things progress. But one thing that can happen when you have a quarterback like that and a team like that, you can bond and build a lot of chemistry when you're winning football games on the road early in the season. So look for them to take this momentum and run with it. I think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but I could be surprised. They could definitely come together down the stretch.
Yeah, I think it's good for a team like that, especially with all the questions they had in the offseason. The questions that were kind of already starting to come up in terms of a hot seat, for Vic Fangio and the quarterback decision they had to make between Teddy, between Drew Lock. This is just really nice, like for the locker room, and again, Alex, you said it best. Zach, you did as well. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jaguars. It's not like, you just took down the Chiefs, and the Browns. But still, I mean, wins are wins, right? And both of them on the road. So, I'm fascinated to watch them. They kind of remind me, we were talking right before the show, like Boise State, Fresno State, and Ole Miss, like in college. Those are like my favorite teams to bet. And the Broncos are kind of becoming that right now. As soon as I say it, that's when it's time to fade it. But now, they're fun, man. All right, let's give me 2 winners real quick here. So first off, we're gonna go with, and I'm just picking these literally right out of the chat here. So, all right, our man, Tall Guy Gamer 44. You know what? I'm gonna put you right here on the screen. I like you that you're tall. I like that you're a gamer, and you put it all out there. Looks like I think you're a Cavs fan, Big T Cavs 44. So congrats on that. I've got you there. And then our second winner is going to be, let's see. Yeah, drum. Let's go LCS, 52K hustle. All right, I'm down with it. I like it. All right, those are our 2 winners. Congratulations. And we're going to keep going throughout the show. So we'll hit that here in just a second. And I'll tell you what, it's 7:30 Eastern. We got about 30 minutes before we're going to end this show. And we can talk about games today. We can get right to the game that we have tonight. I think it's big enough to discuss it. We can spend the next 30 minutes breaking this down from a spread perspective, a total perspective. Prop bets, first team.
Lost you, AB.
Do that.
Lost you again, bud. Lost you again.
Should I?
All right. Sorry, guys. I would come in and host. I'm finishing up the DFS stuff for everyone over here, but we could talk about the game from where everything's at.
There we go.
If we have any late line, you good, AB? Come take it back from me, buddy.
Yeah, you got me?
Perfect now.
Yeah. Can Yes, apologies. Like whatever we're trying to plug in from out there at the sports book, it's throwing my audio off. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's jump into the game here. All right. So we've got the Chiefs. We got at the Ravens. Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite. A total of 53.5. It's come down from 55.5. Roughly, and I know that the spread opened 2.5, got all the way up to 5, and it looks like it's going to settle here at 53.5. So let's just start with just overall thoughts. You don't have to make any picks, but just overall thoughts on the spread, on the total. Alex, I'll start with you, man. Just from a first perspective of saying, all right, this game, kicks off in 50 minutes. Where do you sit with either of these? What do you think?
So I lean Chiefs here. Both, I would take the Chiefs points personally if I were to pick the spread as far as the total is concerned. I would also lean over. I feel better about the Chiefs than I do the total. I think this is a big statement game for the Chiefs. I think they're coming out, with a lot to prove. I know the Ravens are obviously coming off of a really tough loss on Monday night. But I think we're going to see a huge performance from Mahomes. I know the Ravens blitz more than any other team in the NFL, and Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league versus the blitz. So I anticipate him shredding this Baltimore defense and having a huge game and the Chiefs winning.
Zach, your thoughts, buddy?
Well, yeah, they've faced each other so many times. I think this will be the third or fourth year in a row with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So every year he's faced them since he's been starter. So they seem to know each other real well. We know the Baltimore Ravens defense is susceptible right now and vulnerable. I think Lamar Jackson will have a better game, but it's not going to be the ground attack. We know they're limited with their depth and who they have at running back. So Lamar Jackson is going to have to air this out, and I think that's going to be an up and down game. So I would lean on the over 53.5.
M Square, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, same thing. I would lean towards the over if I was going to play the total. Lean on the Chiefs side as well. It's another one where the model's going to have it really close. It's going to have it at 3 points and not the 3.5. Head tells me it should be 5.5 for Kansas City, but it's giving a lot of credit to Baltimore. They're obviously playing at home. It's still a tough place to go in and win a primetime football game. However, I do agree with Alex that it is a statement game for Kansas City. If they are rolling, I think that they actually run it up a little bit tonight as well. If they are having some success, I think this is one that they want to win, and they want to win big. I think it'll obviously be emotions flying on both sides, but as of right now, I haven't played anything on the game. If I were to play it last minute, though, it would definitely be Kansas City there. If for some reason we get buyback and it goes to 3, then I would consider teasing it to get Kansas City plus 3, and then dropping that total down 6 points as well. That would be a really smart teaser for this game.
So, all right, what do you guys think about this Ravens offense, right? Like it's not like they played terrible in week 1, but they didn't look like themselves. Like the injuries are there, both offensively and defensively. Okay. And kind of M squared of what you were talking about in terms of the Chiefs. If the Chiefs come out and put up points early, I don't know if this Ravens team can come back. I mean, they're just not built to do that. They're built, to go downhill. Like the Chiefs will have no problem, coming back in games. I think the last 11, they've been down double digits. Mahomes has won 9 of them. Right. But I don't know if the Ravens are built to do that. And I kind of saw something out of John Harbaugh's eyes, against the Raiders in week 1, that he was definitely leaning on, using the field goal game, using Tucker, which, again, I mean, the NFL is all about winning. And when you have a guy like that, for sure. But I don't know how much confidence they have in that offense. And I'm fascinated to see it. Any thoughts that you guys have on that? Are you concerned with the Ravens whatsoever, Zach? I know you kind of lean on that side. Like, how do you feel about them before the game? Did you lose any confidence week 1?
Almost certainly, because if you take them tonight, you have to trust the home crowd. You have to trust that Lamar Jackson is going to be able to throw the football. So those are 2 things that could be taken away right off the bat. They might be down 10-0, 14-0, and we haven't seen Lamar Jackson be able to come back. Certainly, he hasn't had the adversity in his career. We know the last couple of years they've been winning. So this is a new format, even being at home and being the underdog. So the wheels could fall off today, or they could start riding the ship.
Yeah, Alex, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I also think they've really struggled to find any semblance of any kind of rhythm, just very little continuity. I think their passing game is in trouble. I think they're feeling the injuries on offense at the running back position. The lack of depth there is going to hurt them. They don't really have any explosive backfield options, without J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. I think those are huge losses. I think they would also struggle to play from behind, and you cannot settle for field goals versus the Chiefs. That is the last team you want to do that against. So, I think this offense is in trouble. I think they're going to struggle. My outlook on them has changed as far as my season outlook is concerned. I don't think that they're I think that they're a playoff team, but I don't think that they're a viable contender personally.
Well, speaking of TDs, let's just jump right into some picks, right? Like I want to get these out there for everybody. So let's talk first touchdown. Okay. And I'm just going to throw it around the room. You guys take it, run with it. This show's already off the rails anyway, so we might as well just have fun here. All right. So first TD. Okay. You're looking at the board. You're looking at the Ravens players. You're looking at Chiefs players. Zach, I'll start with you. Who do you like? What do you like? And why?
Well, I do have an anytime touchdown prop, but I won't say that yet. But first prop, I'll say Patrick Mahomes. We see it so often. They get inside that 10-yard line, and the other teams are going to guard Travis Kelce. They're going to guard Tyreek Hill. They're going to guard the receivers. And then you just see Patrick Mahomes be able to do one of those jump pass, fake passes, and run to the right or run to the left and run into the end zone. I think that's a good prop to take first touchdown, Patrick Mahomes.
Alex, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, Mahomes is actually my second pick, so I think that's a great pick, Zach. But I have Nicole Hardman at plus 1,500 for first TD. He's the starting wide receiver in 2 wide receiver sets. He's going to be on the field a lot. Didn't have a great week 1. Only I think he saw 3 targets, had 3 catches for only 19 yards. But I think looking at, the Ravens have injuries in their secondary, especially when it comes to depth. So I think when you're, looking at these ancillary or tertiary options for the Chiefs, they're going to be able to exploit some of the Ravens' lack of depth in their secondary. I think Jimmy Smith is questionable. Starting corner on the Ravens is also out. His name is escaping me. Marcus Peters is out. Yeah, Jimmy Smith is questionable. So, I like Nicole Hardman. I think that it's very feasible for Mahomes to throw a bomb early on to Coleman to score a TD. So, yeah.
M squared. You legitimately, I think you've created this entire segment for this show. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely took the one I wanted. Nicole Hardman is the first choice. The second choice for me is going to be Demarcus Robinson, sticking on that same theme. I do see scenarios where this Ravens, again, it's a road game. It's a primetime game. It's a tough environment to play in. I do see scenarios where Kansas City might be in 3rd and longs, could be, longer to go in goal situations. I think Demarcus Robinson's going to be on the field a little bit here in this spot. So at 28-1, 2,800 there, I think he's probably the best bet after Nicole Hardman at 15-1. But if I'm taking anyone, it's going to be like Zach said too. It's going to be Mahomes rushing. It's going to be one of those 2 secondary receivers.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's just stay in props here. All right. And you know what, Alex, I'm going to throw it to you. You're the prop stars. You're our man. Yeah. What props are you looking at tonight?
Yeah, so AB, I've got my favorite prop. I gave this one out, I think, 3 or 4 days earlier on Twitter. It was Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. When I gave it out, I believe it was plus 125, which I thought was just tremendous value. Now it's sitting at minus 105. I still like it there, not quite as much as plus 125, but yeah. Mahomes has played the Ravens 3 times. He's gone over he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns 2 of the last 3 times they've met. His career stats, he has 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 116 quarterback rating, and almost 1,200 passing yards in his 3 games versus the Ravens. I brought this up earlier. Baltimore blitzes more than any other team in the NFL. Mahomes is the best quarterback facing the blitz. So, yeah, I love Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns.
All right. Well, speaking of Mahomes, Zach, I'm going to throw it to you. You've got a kind of the correlated play here. Nicole Hardman, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I love Nicole Hardman, as prop stars and Mike have said, and you just go back to him. He's kind of been one of those guys that he gets big plays here and there, only 500 yards the past 2 years receiving. But in these primetime spots, he's been a big-time player. And against the Ravens, he's been a big-time player. Just his 3rd year in the league, he's had a touchdown in both games that he's faced against the Ravens, 49 yards last year, 49-yard touchdown 2 years ago, an 83-yard touchdown. So I like him to go over his receiving yards, 34.5. I think that's a small number for him, kind of like Ruggs last week. And then to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown, plus 275.
M squared, your thoughts, buddy? Anything you like on the board there?
No, not really. Nothing really at this point. Like if you want to play the overs, you can. There's not, you're going to need the game to go over for them to get there probably, but I don't have anything yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, and beyond the prop, right? Like just the game. How do you think this game is going to go? Like in squared, I put it right on you. Like, how do you think, what give me like a hypothetical projected final score that you think that it is?
I could see 31-28.
So tight one.
It all depends on, I'm expecting a competitive game.
Yeah. Same from you guys?
I could see a scenario where the Chiefs get up big early and then kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit, play a little prevent. And Baltimore, I could see the game getting out of hand quickly. I could see the Chiefs getting up a couple scores in the first half and then just kind of nursing the lead a little bit, and then maybe the Ravens figuring some stuff out in the second half when it's a little too late.
Zach?
Yeah, we mentioned it's going to be an up and down game. I lean on the Ravens. I actually like the prop better than the side on this one. So lean slightly on the Ravens just because of the familiarity of both teams. They played okay against the Las Vegas Raiders. Keep in mind they were up 14-0. They hit that road snag that you see a lot of teams do. So I'm hoping being at home, they'll be a little bit more settled in and play a more complete game.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's jump into the spread, the total. All right. And we've got a spread, 3.5 Chiefs. We've got a total 53.5. We've got some official plays out there. We'll get those on the screen here in just a minute. But again, just kind of want to talk about this, right, from that perspective here. So, Zach, I'll leave it right with you. All right. You've got the Ravens plus 3.5. And, kind of looking at the total, I think we all think, like we just said, we think it's going to be pretty tight, pretty sharp on both sides. But you like the Ravens plus 3.5. Break that one down for us.
Yeah, just like they have a little bit of a short week. We know Kansas City, the numbers always going to be towards their side, tilted just a little bit, just like we saw week 1 against Cleveland and a few times last year. And Baltimore, I think they can have the game plan to slow down the Chiefs offensively. Maybe we see something like the first couple of series, 2 or 3 series where they have a little bit of rustiness and Baltimore can get a few scores. We'll see what happens there. But like I said, I just like the home edge here and for Baltimore to settle down just a little bit.
It's squared. Any lean either way?
I'll lean Kansas City and lean over. I think those are the two pretty big leans for me at this point. I'll be looking for live in-game plays like I talk about all the time. I'm really interested to see how Kansas City starts in this environment. And then, are the Ravens going to have any success trying to run the ball? If not, are they going to be behind 2 scores initially? It's one where I think if they drop behind big early, I think it's just going to be a total blowout victory for Kansas City. So those would be things that I'll be looking for live.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm with Mike here. I'm leaning Chiefs.
So is Chief.
Yeah, I'm leaning both. I'd prefer it if it was 3 at 3.5. I'm staying away, but yeah, I'm going over. I'm going Chiefs.
I like it. I can tell like the trepidation that all of us have with this game because it could go in any direction. And there's just explosive players on both sides, right? And like legitimately anything can happen. So I love when we have games like this because you could just tell. Like there's no like.
So yeah, it's hard to fade a dog as good as the Ravens have been historically at home. So,
well, you bring up that point, and in week 1, and I haven't done the numbers yet, for week 2, but again, we had 6 games where we had home underdogs, right? And when the home underdog covered, there were 4 of those, and the over hit in all of them, right? And we had the other 2, obviously, where the road favorite covered and the under was 2-0, right? So I don't, that's not going to last the entire season, but it kind of makes sense, like from a game script perspective. Zach, your thoughts, man?
I was just going to say it's up to 4 now. I just checked a couple of books, so it's up to 4 if you like the Ravens side of things. And I saw some bookmaker tweeted it out, or a reporter. The ticket count is tremendous on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's like one of the most lopsided they've seen in prime time. 35-1 ticket count on the Chiefs side.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean that's what's crazy to me too. Okay, real quick, I want to talk about that. And you guys know more about this than I do. Okay, so we saw that all week. You're exactly right. And it got up to a point. I think it was either Seeker or BetMGM. I can't remember which one, but you're right. Like it was like legitimately 35 tickets to the Chiefs for every one to Baltimore, right? But we didn't necessarily like immediately see huge swings in the spread, right? Like we saw it right out of the gate, when it opened at 2.5 and then went all the way to 5. But we kind of saw a little bit of movement here. Like, the public seems all in on the Chiefs, and I get it, like at a low number, but it's fascinating to me. And there's no question here on this one to you guys. It's just fascinating to me to where we've got a game, I think 86%, of the tickets roughly are on the Chiefs. But everybody on this show is like, I don't know, like I don't have a heavy play here. Like I just find it fascinating. Like I hope that the game comes out, and attacks that way. Now, before we get the picks up on the screen so that everybody can get out there, any just final thoughts, right? And I want to make sure everybody has time to get them. This show's been nuts already, so we're not going to make, everybody sit around. Let's get every pick out there. So, you know what? We're going to just do it a little bit different. Alex, I want you to run through each official pick that you have for tonight.
Yeah, so I've got Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 touchdown passes. Touched on this earlier, but yeah, he's had some exceptional career splits versus the Ravens. He's played them 3 times. In two of the 3 games he's gone over, he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns and gone over in the last 2 meetings that they've had. His career numbers versus the Ravens are 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, almost 1,200 yards passing with 117 passer rating. He's been exceptional. The Ravens blitz more than any other team in the NFL. Mahomes handles the blitz better than any other quarterback in the NFL. So I really like this matchup for him. I have a light sprinkle on first touchdown of Nicole Hardman. He's starting in their 2 wide receiver sets, so he's going to be on the field a lot, opposite of Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Travis Kelce commands a ton of attention. The Ravens are banged up in their secondary, especially as you go down the line. So I feel like some of these, secondary and tertiary options on the Chiefs, like Hardman, Mike brought up DeMarcus Robinson as his anytime first TD pick. I think those guys can definitely break loose for a long touchdown bomb.
Zach, throw it over to you. And I'm going to get this graphic here on the screen. I'm literally going through Photoshop right now. This show has just been crazy, but I love it. You know what I mean? That's what we live for. So, Zach, you got a couple plays here. What are you looking at?
Yeah, the side, I'm going to have a lean, just a lean on Baltimore. I'll take the 4 since we're doing a live show. And I'm going to offset it. 2 props that I really like. Prop Stars is on it, so I feel even better with Nicole Hardman. But he's had the big games against them the past 2 years, and I like Andy Reid. So if it doesn't go right for me on the Baltimore Ravens side of things, Andy Reid doesn't let off the gas. We see him. They're going to keep scoring. They're going to keep throwing. They're going to pad Patrick Mahomes stats. They're going to throw the ball around to Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They're going to get everyone involved. So I like Nicole Hardman over 34.5 yards, and we'll put a little sprinkle on him to score a touchdown as well at plus 275.
Mikey, all right, we're going over to you, buddy. What do you think?
I'm going to end up playing the over on Travis Kelce again. I think that this number still is just a little soft based off what I'm looking at here in my simulations. This number, I believe it's 85.5 everywhere else. I've got it at 97. I think it should be close to 100 most of these games, especially the ones that we think can trend to be competitive games and lean towards the over. So I'm going to play the Kelce over. I hadn't locked it in yet. But I do have the edge required to play that one. And frankly, I do on the Tyreek Hill as well. So probably going to end up playing both of those.
I like it. Now, here's the funny thing. Of course, I mean, typical for the show tonight, Photoshop crashed. So we don't have a graphic. So, guys, this is what we're going to have to do really quickly. Fire through here. You just heard him squared. Zach, fire through yours real quick so everybody can hear it. What you got?
Official plays.
Yep.
Nicole Hardman. This is through the Caesar Sportsbook, over 34.5 yards. And then to score a touchdown, plus 275, just some of the variables I just said a few minutes ago. And then a lean, if you want to bet the side, I lean on Baltimore side of things, just from bouncing back from last week and being back at home and back-to-back primetime spots.
Alex, fire yours out, buddy.
Yeah, just to touch on what Mike said, I like that Kelce prop a lot, his receiving prop, his yards. I agree with everything Mike said. I also want to touch on, I think he's going to absolutely torch Patrick Queen, linebacker, second-year player for the Ravens. He's really struggled in coverage. I see Kelce having a really big game in the middle of the defense, of the Ravens defense, which has proven to be pretty soft. As far as my props are concerned, I've got Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I got this at plus 125. It's presently at minus 105. I still like it there, but much prefer the plus 125. But Mahomes has been just electric versus Baltimore. And then first touchdown scorer is Nicole Hardman at plus 1,500. I think there's a good chance that he gets loose for a bomb early on from Mahomes.
I like it. Now, I have to go ahead and put this on the screen here. Faustino says, pay your bill, SportsLine. Look, I'm going to put this one on me. All right. We had a lot of craziness like right before we were trying to get Coach live. We had a lot of crazy things going on. Look, understand, these days are going to happen. We're not going to ever have it again. I can assure you on that. But it has just been an absolute nuts day. But we wanted to make sure that we at least got live to you. We at least got our guys out there. And we didn't have a beautiful graphic for you. Again, you know what? I'm going to eat that one. That one's going to be on me as well. So you got all the picks. Before we go, and before I get lambasted on Twitter, which rightfully so, again, send it to me. Don't send it to the guys. Any final thoughts that you guys have for tonight's game or tomorrow's game between the Lions and the Packers? M Square, throw to you first, buddy.
I just want to say, I've made Kelsey the official play here, over 85.5. That's going to be an official play for me. And then official play also going to be on DeMarcus Robinson, 2,800, first touchdown of the game. Other first and final thoughts. I hope the Kansas City Chiefs win. Obviously, I'm a big Chiefs fan. My dog's name is Chief. So let's do it. And yeah, let's go.
I like it. Zach?
I hope it's a good game tonight. I love a primetime Sunday night game where you can just relax after a nice long weekend of action in college football and, of course, today, NFL Sunday. So I'm hoping for a good game. I'm hoping we see Lamar Jackson bounce back just a little bit. And then tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers. That's a big, big number. That's going to be a hard one for us to talk about, but I'll be ready on tomorrow morning show.
Yeah, it's good. It's a massive number, but I'm fascinated to see what their offense looks like and what he looks like specifically, because he ate it and said, look, this loss is on me. We weren't here. It's my fault. Take it. I'm fascinated to talk about that game tomorrow and then obviously see it tomorrow night. Alex, take us home, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm super pumped for this game, guys. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I've been looking forward to it all week. You have prime time. Got the best quarterback in the NFL versus another elite quarterback. I don't think I'm on tomorrow night. So as far as tomorrow night's game is concerned, I think it's a big bounce back spot for Green Bay. But there is a certain tight end on Detroit that I like a lot. So little sneak preview of a prop that may or may not come out. Certain tight end. I think he's a former Iowa Hawkeye as well. Got my eye on him. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I like you being subtle about it. That's the best part. Seriously, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions in regards to the official picks, please hit me up on Twitter at AlanBell247, and I'll make sure to get all of that information out to you guys. But seriously, this show's been nuts. We appreciate you sticking with us. We wanted to make sure that we got it out there. And you know what? Let's get these bets. There's craziness going on in the NFL right now. Get these bets in. If you have any questions, holler at us, and we will see you in the morning. So, as Coach says, let's take him straight to the pay window. I'm never going to try to do his voice again. It's very impossible to do. Plus, this show's been crazy. Anyways, everybody have a good night. Let's cash some tickets, and thank you so much.
Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.